Okay, I gotta make some videos of me geeking out because I love museums and I love history and I love anthropology, and I'm here in San Diego at the Museum of Us, which was formerly known as the Museum of Man, which is obviously not an inclusive title, so they're in the process of changing that. I think that's very forward thinking of them. So I wanted to show you guys a few really fun things that I found. So this right here is the part of the museum that's all about the Maya people. And I think what's really cool about it is, it used to be, it's a bit of an outdated exhibit because it kind of freezes them as if it's just a civilization sort of frozen in time, and it's not that. I mean, the Maya people are still around. So they're working on updating that, but this is really cool. This is the largest stela, or the tallest stela in the world. Isn't that beautiful? Just amazing. And then this is another really cool thing I found. So I'm kind of obsessed with the Venuses that were found in Europe, and this is really cool. I did not know this, but there are also small figurines of women found within the Maya culture. That's just so cool to me. That says to me that there's something deep within us or deep within human beings that wanted us to create these figurines and of women and sort of honor them. And gosh, I mean, who knows exactly what they mean, but we can only sort of imagine in our heads, like why would so many cultures around the same time period create these, and what did they mean? So exciting. So this part of the museum was particularly exciting to me because it's the history of beer. Now here's the thing, like I don't even really drink beer, but I totally appreciate it as far as a cultural phenomenon because it's something that is very ingrained, pardon the pun, very ingrained in us as human beings to create this beverage out of the grains that human beings, have harvested for thousands of years. And it's such an important part of the evolution of human beings. These are some ancient growlers. And, thought these were exciting. I gotta forward this to my friends Liz and Dave, who run Dreaming Dog Brewery, because they would probably find this probably even more fascinating than I do. So this is the part of the museum that is dedicated to the Kamehameha people, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. These are the people who were native to San Diego before the invasion by the Spanish and the colonization and the mass genocide that happened here. As someone who grew up in California, I can tell you this is something that California schools kind of skim over, the genocide that happened here in California and the legacy that we have here that's unfortunate but true. But I do find this really fascinating. This one right here, as you can see, this talks about, of course, the ceremonies, which I'm really interested in, the ceremonies of the Kamehameha people. These are the houses that they lived in, or a model of the houses that they would have lived in. So you can imagine, the San Diego the way it is now, but imagine, it being covered in buildings like this. This would have been beautiful. And then one other thing I wanted to show you was over here. This is just the everyday life of the people, and I thought this was so fascinating. I like these are what do they call them? The cradle boards they put their babies on. And then look at this one right here. It's a little play cradle board for to play with, a little doll that the little ones would play with. I just thought that was so cute. They talked about the games that they played, just people. They played family games and different kinds of ring and pin games and board games and guessing games, and just the same kind of thing that we do. And it's amazing to think about the society of people that were here long ago. Okay, if you want to find a way to guarantee to geek me out, take me to any Egyptian museum or anything to do with ancient Egypt. I love it. So of course the thing about ancient Egypt is of course the death stuff, right? There are no mummies in this museum, but this one, there's a lot of coffins, and this is one that I thought was really unique because this is a child's coffin, and you don't see those very often. So I thought that was pretty unique. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool here is they had some implements of personal grooming that you would find in ancient Egypt, and of course we know from the information you have about ancient Egypt that they were very into makeup and grooming and beauty habits, and so I thought this was really cool. This is like the type of thing that you would find in someone's house in their bathroom in ancient Egypt. How cool is that? So I'm not really sure why this particular exhibit really touched my heart and kind of got me emotionally choked up a little bit. And maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of family history lately and researching all kinds of census records. But this is they had an exhibit that was particularly about race and how we view race and what it means in our society, and I could go on for hours about that one. But this one was really interesting. This is how would the U.S. Census have categorized you throughout the years? And you can see there's different people here, and on their shirts they have the different ways that they would have possibly been categorized in the U.S. Census. And that one was just really wow. Like, yeah, these were our ancestors. These are the people who came before us. I mean, as far as what's in the U.S. Census, and I don't know, just really was wow. So this is another interesting part of the museum is, this museum has to own up to its own history as well as a museum, because I think it's been around since the early 1900s, and originally being called the Museum of Man. And they had, this was actually some busts that they had in their old exhibits, showing how they would categorize people and how they would put them into these very staunch racial categories, and how they're sort of rethinking that and evolving as we evolve as human beings, and understanding how better to relate to one another. And it's still something that we're all still learning. So. But I think it's great that they're owning up to, this is what was, this is what we used to do, and this is how we're getting better. So I went ahead and climbed the tower, took the tower tour of the Museum of Us, and climbed up 8 stories. I'm up here at the top of this incredible tower. I'll have to take another video from the bottom, but you can see how high up we are. You can see the entire city from up here. It's just beautiful. So I am standing outside the Museum of Us, and you can see this building that it's in. It's just amazing. Look at that. Look at that. So I climbed that tower all the way up there. Lots and lots of stairs. Every level we had a new talk from the tour guide about various communities in the San Diego area. And that was cool. I was really hoping that they'd go like pre-1900s, but actually this building is not as old as I thought. Only goes back to the early 1900s. I think it was for an exhibit. They built it for, it was an exhibit that would rival the World's Fair. So that was kind of cool, but yeah, it would be interesting to go even further back, like into like the early settlements, or I should say the early invasions from the Spanish would have been really neat to see.